Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well today. This is my third video, still at it, and I have a topic today. It is, are you paralyzed with fear? How to take action now. So, a quick shout out to everybody out there who is paralyzed with fear, who sees each day kind of slipping by without accomplishing what they want to accomplish. Maybe you have dreams of like writing a novel, of being a ski instructor. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be even career related. But you see those things as so distant and so unattainable, and you just have this kind of spiral where you feel ashamed by not doing what you want to do, and it keeps feeding into itself more and more. I can speak to that place because I have been in that place for a large portion of my life. That was how my existence was defined to myself. So I'm giving you, of course, personal backstory and history in this video, and bringing you up to speed with where I am now. So if you are stuck in that place, if you do feel paralyzed with fear, I want you to know that I've absolutely been there, and I still am sometimes, and what I do to move beyond that. So, to share with you some history, when I was growing up as a kid, one of the many things that contributed to some low self-esteem in me was that I didn't have any skills, let's say. So, okay, rewind, and before that, when I was really young, I loved dancing, I always loved writing, I've always loved reading, I've always just loved like playing, creating stories, get really into the stories that I would create. I could spend hours just playing by myself alone. I was always a really spiritual kid. Yeah, and I just like connecting with things, connecting with nature, building fairy houses, things like that. And then as I grew older, I started seeing the value system of like taking lessons in things, having skills, being a skilled person. And I really wanted to take dance, and that never happened. And there were, other things that came and went. So, growing up, I always knew kids who could play like violin or took hip hop or something, and I didn't have any of those skills. And the older that I got, the more I thought, I can't start now. Like, I can't ever catch up. I can never catch up with these people. They've been playing violin and tap dancing since they were 5 years old. They're good at it. The closest I came was playing basketball, and that I had fun at doing that, but I never really like believed in it in myself when I was doing it. So it was still kind of like a way to reward or punish myself depending on how well I did. And as time went by, this became more and more compounded. I was completely paralyzed with fear when I was a teenager. I didn't want anybody to ever see me do anything. Like, we had art class where we would all sit around and draw. I could not stand to have people look at something I was doing. I wanted it to be perfect, but I felt like that was completely unattainable. And this kind of mindset kept spiraling me downward, and it needed to go somewhere. I needed to act out against myself. I hated myself so much. But I still didn't know how to like take like an active role in doing this. And so basically, it manifested in having like an eating disorder for a while, and I kind of been in denial about the fact that I had one, and even when I did, because I thought, I'm logical, I can snap out of this at any time. I can quit at any time. And that ended up leading to a bunch of problems in my digestion and my skin. I had really bad cystic acne for a long time. A lot of things like that, kind of just spiraling and compounding on one another. And the thing that now is becoming so clear to me is that even when it doesn't seem obvious, we use so many things in our lives as conditions for love. So I did not have an unconditional love for myself. I started adopting these value systems of, okay, in order to earn love, earn respect, I need to do X in order to get Y. And just plug that into the equation and everything will be okay. Well, unfortunately, there are a lot of things that get culturally advocated that are just perpetuating this cycle. Like, even up until like really recently, I was still messing around with my food, but I did not have it manifested in an eating disorder realm at all. I was not the interesting thing is that I was not letting myself eat, but I was restricting like pleasure with it. I was making it into such a value system thing. Like, if I eat these foods, I am good, I am healthy, I will be happy. Get healthy in order to be happy. Exercise in order to be happy. There are a million things you could replace that with. A lot of times you could be like, let's say you're an alcoholic. Okay, you go to AA. You're not an alcoholic anymore, but you cannot stop eating cupcakes every day. Let's say you lose a bunch of weight. And okay, that's taken care of, that's good. Everybody's patting you on the back because you lost weight, but now you're just taking that issue that you have of not loving yourself unconditionally, and then you take it out of one area of your life, pick it up, plop it somewhere else. It's just this game of constantly moving it, shifting it around. Where is it going to be next? And that's really tiring. And the thing that I had no idea until I went through a lot of those experiences was that it starts with unconditionally loving yourself. It starts there. So obvious, but not really until we get to that place. And everything blooms out of that. And it blooms into this space that you don't need to mess around with yourself. It's not like, I still have this impulse a lot of the time. I'm not saying that I don't have days like this, but there would be some days, and let's say I have like a day off, and I would be like, okay, well, I need to do the laundry, and I need to go grocery shopping, and then there's other things that I need to do, and it sounds horrible. Like, it doesn't sound like what I want to do at all, because I'm making it into this value system where if I do this, then I can love myself. Well, I used to have a big problem, or so I thought, with self-sabotage. So, I'd especially in university. So I started going to, I just got English there for a second. In university, I had this problem. No, when I went to college, I had this happen to me. I did not graduate from college, by the way, because I kept self-sabotaging myself out of it. I started going, and I always started out really great in my classes, and whether or not I was feeling it, and I kept thinking like, okay, well, I gotta prove to myself that I can do this, and there I was going again, making it into another value system, another condition. If I complete this condition, I can love myself, kind of a situation. And I would always fuck it up. I would always sabotage it, or so I thought. I'd always, just stick a wrench in the whole system. And now I can see that as this inner part of me, because I have this really stubborn, like, little child part of me that throws a fit when something isn't really what I want. So that child was really tired because I was throwing that fit for most of my life. Because it was like, dude, you don't have to do this. Like, you don't have to play by these rules. You don't have to fit into this game that they're trying to make you play and that you're buying into it. You don't have to do it. So I can see the wisdom in that self-sabotage now, because I just thought, like, oh my god, why can't I just be normal? Why do I have to screw everything up all the time? Can I not let myself be happy? That's what I kept thinking. Why can I not let myself be happy? So if this concept is a bit new to you, if you've thought that you need to gain your love through a series of hoops and labyrinths and strange mazes that you've constructed for yourself, and that at the end of that love is there, then you're like, oh yeah, then I'll finally have deserved it. I'll work my way up into it, and then I'll love myself so much. It'll be great, and it'll be that way forever. Well, yeah. So if you've been trying that and that hasn't been working, which, probably it hasn't been, then I highly recommend as a starting place there is a fantastic spiritual teacher named Teal Scott. She's gone through a lot of crazy stuff in her life, and she has a video which I believe is called The Shortcut to Enlightenment, and it has all to do with loving yourself and having that be a starting place instead of the end goal. That is really the pivotal point that I have come away with recently. So, I'm trying to think of if there's anything else I want to say here, but I don't believe so. Oh, yeah, me realizing this and is a product of me coming out of this journey myself entirely. I probably could have read a book on there on the subject, and I don't think that it could possibly process in this way. So sometimes we create these resistant situations in our lives in order to explore what we don't want, because I've gone through so many situations I don't want, and a lot of them I'd go through one and I'd be like, oh, okay, I didn't want that, but this is the thing. This is the thing I really want. This is what's going to do it for me. It's the key. It's going to unlock my happiness. And it wouldn't be. And by doing that over and over and over and over, I kept getting closer and closer and closer to what I really wanted. And that's totally natural. So hearing this information may just implant a seed into you, and you are undoubtedly going to have to go through your own journey, to get to the same place and beyond. And if you are watching somebody go through a struggle or through that journey, there's a really strong impulse to try to give them just advice and, try to do it for them, try to get them to that end place. I have that a lot as a middle child, and I'm working on this. I'm not a master on this, but I would just say, absolutely giving it a shot to just unconditionally love that person. Give them that little slice of what it feels like, of what it looks like. Unconditionally love yourself around other people. See how it feels, see what happens. Yeah. Let's do it.